guys, you got to get over it. Seriously, this is a wake-up call. I want you guys to get over it. Brokers sell property because they're brokers, excluding the brokers I have in here or any brokers listening to these DVDs or audios, because you're here and you're getting it. But most brokers are trained. If you think about it, we're all kind of trained. We're all trained from when we're little kids, right? We're trained to get up and to go to school and to work real hard, to get great grades, to go ahead to get a great job, to make a bunch of money, to go ahead and diversify our money and get mutual funds and 401k and our Social Security, and then we buy a lake house somewhere, and then we retire and we die. Well, that's boring. I'm glad I broke the chain. Guys, that's not the way it's supposed to happen. And it's not about following the norm anymore. I'm not telling you to follow my path. I'm saying create your own path, but just learn from my successes, my mistakes, so that way together we can move forward and be successful. Does that appeal to anybody here? Yeah. Absolutely. And what this guy did, my friend, he moved forward and got this deal done. Anybody could have done that deal. It's that he had a relationship, and the reason why he had a relationship is because he was lucky. Now, what does that mean? Anybody believe in luck? Guys, Trump says, be lucky. Be lucky. I got nicer hair. He says, be lucky. Yeah, you know what luck is? Luck is constantly moving forward to new opportunity and not just keeping yourself behind a closed door where nobody knows that you're out there getting the message to the market, to the media. If you think about it, all luck is being in the right place at the right time. That's all my friend did. He was performance-based, so he was always in the right place at the right time. He was feeding this broker and making this broker money. Well, of course the broker's going to go back to him. He bought 15, 20 properties from the guy. He assisted in short sales and everything else. Of course he's going to go back to him. He created a relationship through a family, and he went, who did he go to? The go-to guy, the guy who makes some money. You feed me. I love you. Here's a $50 million deal. You do it. I'm a broker. I work for 3% commission. So, most people are trained, and you're here to get trained in a different way. You're here to make a boatload of money. You're here to get rich. You're here to get in, get out, get rich. And I want you to get it. Okay? I want you to think outside the box. I want you to get a little uncomfortable. I want you to get shucking up. When I make these calls and we're having fun and we're doing stuff, I really want you to get uncomfortable because I want you to understand that this is your chance. Don't miss out. All right? This is it. So, we've seen properties as low as 20 cents on the dollar. Jennifer Nagao, one of my students. Anybody know Jennifer here? Anybody? Yeah? Jennifer, she was doing stuff on the computer in a dark room, and she was doing graphic design stuff and for movies and all kinds of stuff, photographs and stuff like that. And she learned what I was teaching. She actually went after some properties and ended up getting property pretty close to 20 cents on the dollar. She lined up her financing at a local real estate investment association group, and she went after 2 properties. She got an Adelphia building outside of Pennsylvania for close to 20 cents on the dollar, and another piece of oceanfront land as well. Very, very attractive properties. You've seen properties as low as 20 cents on the dollar all day long. Not all of them are going to be people we can buy from. Most of them are going to be a waste of time. So how do you get around the people that are a waste of time? Only deal with motivated people that want to do business with you. Deal with people who have to sell, not want to sell. People that want to sell are retail sellers. What are they going to want? All cash. Quick close. No due diligence time. They want you to hurry, jump through hoops, fiery hoops, and get the deal done to make them a boatload of money. And then you're going to buy on conventional wisdom. You know how crazy this is? This is going to sound crazy to you. And I want you to understand how much I'm against conventional wisdom in all regards. Conventional wisdom says that we put down, like I said, 20 to 50% down payment, and we personally sign. So you got to have perfect credit, right? Because you're going to personally sign. Then once you do that, you're going to buy a property that is operating on a cap rate, which is your measuring stick. So it's pulling in cash flow that covers your debt service, and maybe it's pulling in a little cash flow, but chances are it's not, because if it was pulling in a lot of cash flow, chances are the people are going to be selling for a whole lot more money. Okay? They're going to be inflating that price. You're going to be paying for future value and speculation. So conventional wisdom says that if you're going to be buying property that's just covering its debt service, and you can do a combination of things like hold the property long term until the rents go up and that's where you make your money, or do some light improvements or some profit centers to a property, maybe move into that property and manage that property yourself. Okay? And then conventional wisdom says that within maybe 2 to 5 years, you'll start making money on that property. You see why people become distressed? I would rip all my hair out. I wouldn't be able to go and do something like that. I could never look at a property like that and say, ooh, that looks juicy. I'm going to jump into that deal. Let me park all my capital here. Let me personally sign so I'm fully liable for the property. And let's just sit on the property and wait a good 5 years to see if it cash flows, make any money. All right? That's crazy. It's crazy to me that people, and that's the so-called competition. So you guys are in the right place because that's not the way we're doing it. All right? It's different. We're doing things different. Some sellers in the residential world, they want retail price for their properties, and it's no different in the commercial world. But there's ways that brokers will go ahead and allow us to get in there and do some creative terms as long as they understand that they're getting taken care of. So a lot of times that's why a little bit of capital is needed, unless if we're dealing direct with the seller, then a lot of times there isn't much capital needed. There's always just a simple deposit. But it's definitely here. You need to identify who's a waste of your time instead of spending time and focusing on the ones that are not worthy of your time. All right? You need to get the message out and only deal with the motivated folks. All right? You're looking for the right deals in the marketplace of the right sellers, and that's all that means. Okay? We get through with this system, it'll be you that has to go out and implement it from the materials that you get here. You're going to have to pick what works best, like we said before. You may choose to browse the internet and do all this business. We mentioned that before. But guys, I want you to get it that it's a business. And I want you to look at it as a business. This isn't a fancy juice drink. All right? You're not going to have boxes of juice to go ahead and schlep. It's not what this is. The way it works is you get the message out, you get the leads that come through the pipe, and you make it happen. It's a big business and it's worthy of anyone's effort. Absolutely, 100%. One good deal can put you into early retirement. But when you get into commercial property, you better not get hung up on what I call big deal-itis. Everybody gets hung up on the big deals first. The big problem with commercial properties, and that's the paydays are few and far between when you're dealing with the wrong dynamics of property. When you're dealing with the type of property that is a big property, it's a big project, there's a lot of people involved, and it's your big home run deal that you want to knock out of the park, it takes longer. Those deals are far and few in between. When I started out in commercial, way back when, I got hung up with some brokers. And the brokers were also investors. And they had a lot of relationships with a lot of powerful people. And when they started talking about these properties, I was like thinking to myself, are these deals going to happen? And they started talking about the Chrysler Building, Waldorf Astoria. They were talking about the Plaza, which I had an executed letter of intent by the royal family of Morocco to go ahead and move forward to buy the Plaza. I do. I have it. And these deals, you have to understand, there's something called circumvention. And people, when you're dealing with this much money, they don't want something called a broker daisy chain. And that's a bunch of people hanging on your coattail, working deals. This guy knows exactly what I'm talking about. And what happens is too many people are involved, so everybody gets knocked out. And I mention that to you because I do not want you to get hung up in that mess. Because that's what it is. It's a mess. I want you to focus on the low-hanging fruit. Call it whatever you want to call it. Creme de la creme, top 1% deals. I want you to focus on the deals that cash flow, the sweet spot, the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 deals. Don't get hung up on big deal-itis. Because when I was in that world of big deal-itis, it was a horrible waste of time. These are properties that are tens of millions, gold mines, stuff like that. Just stay away from the quirky stuff. Stay away from that stuff. Focus on the low-hanging fruit. This is what we're doing here. It only takes one deal. And we're going to talk about a base hit versus a home run later, but you can get in there and you can make it happen. All right? Big problems with big properties. Purpose of this course is not to teach the basics of buying and selling commercial property. This course is focused on finding and then implementing the basics of buying and selling. So I want you guys to get that. We can move in there. We can make it happen. We can do it. It just takes the right knowledge, the right energy, and of course, persistence, persistence, persistence. And it's all just about, guys, get in, get out, and get rich.